And just to dive back in, Karen Bass is, as like I said, been elected official multiple times to multiple levels. Where for people to be critical of a job, absolutely. She's an elected official. You can totally be critical of how they're doing the job. I mean, that's why we hold elections every year, or every 4 years, every 2 years, every 6 years, because we're electing them folks that we think has our best interests in mind. But to say that's a DEI hire is not the case. I think I was making the mention of, like I said, if it's an executive at a big name brand company, of course you can list that person that's saying, hey, oh, this is it, high powered is it. Oh yeah, you definitely a DEI hire because you wouldn't got the job if you weren't, a black female or a black male or whatever the case may be, because they was given that position. I mean, they didn't run for office to get, to be head of personnel at Walmart or be head at Meta or Amazon or whatever the case may be. You was gifted that opportunity by someone. So you could say, yes, that's a DEI hire. But anybody in elected offices are not DEI hires, folks. Take that out the notion, because we constantly voting to put people in place, and we'll see how. Like I said, we need more black women in politics, absolutely. But at the end of the day, we got to vote for these black women. They got to win elections. So,
And please vet these black women down, because, like I said, along with Karen Bass, we got another bad example in office right now who don't want to let that power go.
But they put her there.
Yeah.
They label her the worst mayor in the United States. So you got that title. Wow. Woo. But like I said, I wouldn't mind being a police chief or police officer. And that city, they rack it up on their overtime.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind. It's a serious issue that shouldn't be taken lightly. That's getting, like I say, being made into a political weapon, because, like I said, it's still needed. It's still needed, because I don't think we as America as a country has gotten to that point where we can honestly say that we don't see color, we don't see, sexual orientation, we don't see gender when filling certain roles. So, like I say, as a majority, like I said, if we're being honest, we ultimately, like I said, white men is tops in the population. So, I mean, common sense would say, hey, every powerful position, every powerful office, so to speak, should be held by a white man. But that's not the shape of America. That's not how America is. America is a diverse country. So if it take, hey, having this program in place to hear from a minority's point of view, to, hey, you might need to listen. Yeah. Just listen. And let's say, if they qualified, then offer the job. Let's say, but we at least need to get a chance to get our foot in the door. Let's say, and we harping back to the Rooney Rule again. I mean, that was mainly based to get, GMs and coaches of minority into these positions, because they was constantly getting overlooked. And like I said, at least with the Rooney Rule, you had to interview then, that person's job at the time to, while the interview, but, go back, that we probably heard this a million times, but, being a minority, you got to try twice as hard to be half as good. So, in, certain people's eyes. So, but we get, in position to do these things, and for these positions, like I said, certain roles you don't need DUI, but in other roles you do, because like I said, we both got common names. We named Stephen and Patrick. I mean, if we was Jermaine and Tashawn's, I mean, that application process might look totally different for us.
Yeah.
So, but like I say, they say, and a name shouldn't, a name don't make a person. Yeah, but you should be able to, your parents should be able to give you a name that reflects, who they feel that you should be. But like, at the end of the day, just to be petty, and I'm kind of rambling at the point, but just don't be petty. Make it petty politics. DUI shouldn't be, weaponized by the far left or the far right to prove a purpose. And I can't find the graphic at the moment, but there's a graphic when Trump denied that he was against Project 2025, but a lot of things he's already checked off that list that was in Project 2025.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, DEI was one of them.
Yeah.
Like I said, if it was, I mean, and I hate to say, you can't say it's racist. Who is racist against? White men, white women, who automatically, and we might lose some audience members, but who automatically get a say in so much already that it hurt y'all ego that a black man or a black woman or a transgender man, transgender woman, Mexican man, Arab woman is getting an Indian woman, anything is getting a foot in the door to at least interview for a position. Not saying they may not even get the job, may not be qualified for the job, but at least look at us for these positions because we also bring stuff to the table.
Right. And see, do you remember the Howard lawsuit that took place for affirmative action?
I got to refresh my memory on that one.
Okay, well, Cliff Notes version is a lawsuit that was, I guess, the Students for Fair Admissions versus Howard, where they found out that Howard was discriminating against Asians for admissions. And now maybe there's something I don't know about Howard. Isn't Howard a
historically black college and university? You are correct, my friend.
So it's a double standard going on here.
And I mean, I might be wrong, but that sounds a little vindictive to sue for discriminatory practices when the school is known to be a historically black college and university. So, knowing this is a historic university of African Americans founded, back in 1800s, I'm assuming, and always, being, historically black. Not saying that any other race, ethnicity couldn't attend, but they've been known. That's what the history is.
Yes,
as that. So by you choosing to go there and to say, "Oh, you're not getting in because I'm Asian," bro, you probably could get into any school that you really wanted to.
Right.
But you got to go pick a fight with Howard for what?
Yeah. And, I read a lot of this. I kind of wish we could, get Coleman Hughes here because I think we would, I wouldn't say argue against the guy. I see his point. And he brought this up in his book that I read, A Colorblind America. But the problem is you can't have it one way. Or no, you can't. I would rather it be one way, but it seems like both sides want it their own way. Like I said, Trump doing away with DEI, but then right here where Howard gets sued for discrimination, I'm sure you see where I'm going with this. It's just a double standard
Yeah, once again, DEI is being weaponized.
Yeah.
For political gain. Not saying that Asians shouldn't be included in DUI. I absolutely disagree with that. They are a minority. But for a minority to challenge another minority is kind of like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's clearly a program that might need some retooling. I would say the same about like I said, about the Rooney Rule. Might be a program that could be updated. But at its core, serving the purpose at its core, then DUI is going to be needed into the foreseeable future. I mean, and like I said, until we get to Mr. Coleman's views of being a colorblind nation, then DUI can go away. But like I said, if you put 3 applications in front of me, and like I said, let's say we are people, so we're going to be biased regardless. We struggle every day, we trying to see things 100% from every viewpoint.
Yeah.
But we're human. We're gonna have bias. As a manager, let's play the role of a manager of a 500 Fortune company. We might be there one day, folks. Don't count us out. But as managers or business owners of a Fortune 500 company, and DEI wasn't a thing, and you got 3 applications. You got William Richardson, you got John Edwards, you got Stacy Yang. Who do you think you calling first for that interview? Same qualifications, everything match up on their resumes. Same level of experience. Everyone has the same qualifications. They both, let's say, bilingual, both got MBA, whatever fits your perfect ideal candidate. All 3 of these candidates has that on their resume. But as bias, and if we did have DUI, you think, forgot what I said her name was already.
Stacy Yang.
Stacy Yang. Think Stacy Yang getting a call back?
No.
Where her resume matches the same thing as William and Jack. Stacy's not getting a call back. And you plug Stacy, could be Rashad. Stacy could be Jesus. Stacy can be Hussein. It could be any other name. But if you're not looking past the name, it's okay, if with DUI, please, okay, I got to interview this person because she fixed the minority, diversity, equality, inclusion. And Stacy might be wild. Stacy might have the personality. Stacy might have the it factor that the other 2 people didn't have. But Stacy will never be able to show you that if it wasn't for DUI. DEI, not DUI. We don't want no DUIs. DEI. Oh, we don't want no DUIs. If it wasn't for DEI bringing light to these candidates and these people. So, I mean, it's like I say, it's a situation you, like I say, have more experience with working with it and being in the military. Like I said, I don't think maybe I don't think DUI had nothing to do with my hiring. I just think, thank God my parents named me Stephen.
Yeah. Like I said,
that helped me a lot.
Like I said, I've been on both ends of it. I've got hired because of it or boarded into a position because of it. And it was also used against me because who is more of a minority over a black male, a black female, right? And it was done because they thought they were going to put me in my place and make me look bad or hurt my confidence by hiring a black female over me who wasn't qualified for the job, and they knew it. That was the one situation where and they could do it because of DEI. They abused it like some people do to try to prove a point. And like I said, in that scenario, it was hijacked. And that's what a lot of, I believe, people are doing out there because they don't want minorities to have a fair opportunity. So they're using it in their favor against minorities, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, if you put these people in positions to fail, then that's abuse of power.
Yeah.
Just to go back and say, hey, I gave this black woman a shot. She don't know what she's doing. But you knew she wouldn't know what she's doing when you hired her.
Right.
Let's be honest. You perfectly hired her just to say, oh, no, it's not for you to appease the position. It's to get people in the door who are qualified. Point blank period. It has to be qualified also. You just can't give positions just to anybody. I mean, I'm not going to hire my 5-year-old to run a factory just because we need a black male to run a factory. I'm not going to say, hey, son, go run this factory. That's that's perfectly setting someone up for failure.
Yeah.
Up for failure. Like I said, I strongly believe, like I said, if you work to get to where you got to in your career, kudos to you. But like I said, until we get to the point where race ain't seen, I say you can work hard as you can, but if you're not getting seen for these positions, knowing that you qualified, might die on this hill, but DEI will continue to be important. Like I said, and far right want to paint it as, oh, or they're discriminating because they just giving these jobs to black people. They're not qualified. And if, like I say, if they're not qualified, then they should just lose the job. Black, white, Mexican, green, yellow, purple, whatever they may be. Because if you're not qualified, you shouldn't have a job. Point blank, period. But to say she got a job because she's black, and then she's not qualified because she's black, it's just flat out racism.
Yeah, it is. It's just like back when the civil rights movement was going on. We had a lot of people against that, right? But then when you had Joe Colombo, a mob boss, running the Italian American civil rights movement, they weren't complaining about that.
Yeah, that could be a whole other topic. We could spend a whole break that down. That'd be a nice little episode that we probably to dive into.
Yeah,
but it's like I say, it's optics, is bad optics, and it doesn't look good. Like I say, if it wouldn't, I read the start of the executive order, and it made it clear that they was purposely reversing a Biden policy. So it was just politics. And more likely in 4 years, if it's, if a Democrat wins the next election, guess what they're going to do? Re-invoke it.
Yeah.
So until we get a conclusion, a legit conclusion, a legit understanding of this, like I say, it stood. And like I said, I don't understand. I got to go back and see if this is something added, that Biden added something extra into this clause of why Trump one thing, because I don't remember this being an issue with any crossover. Like when we went from, we're kind of young, but when we went from Clinton to Bush, and then from Bush to Obama to Trump, and then Trump to Biden, and Biden back to Trump. I don't remember. Like I said, this is a law that I want to say dates back to, like I say, civil rights and Lyndon B. Johnson. So we had a lot of different, administrations since then. So I'm not understanding, what's with the repeal of this position now. Like I say, if people not qualified, then yes, if you're looking at their record, you're looking at performance, like I'm judging every year. We have an annual review. And I got to list my goals, I got to list my accomplishments, I got to list how to improve.
Yeah.
Every year. And if I'm not doing that, there's our disciplinary actions to get me up out of that place.
Uh-huh.
And that should be the case with everything. It shouldn't just be based off of, I felt they got the job because they was black. Oh, let's get them out. If you put this person in a position that obviously if you didn't want them there, if they're qualified, and they proved they was qualified, or they weren't qualified, and you did it out of malice.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see where Trump goes from there, because I think he's feeding into one part of his base. I think let's see how his first 100 days looks, and his approval rate looks after his first 100 days in office. And let's say, God forbid, another pandemic strikes, because he, like I say, he also pulled us from the World Health Organization and the Paris Climate Agreement, and I could go on and on about that, but
Yeah. I have a theory. I don't know if I can say it on here, but I have a theory as to why we got pulled out of that. And I can give a hint that it all goes back to a certain someone who was a doctor during the pandemic. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, so we wrap that up. Anything else on DUI? DEI? Not DUI. I'm going to get that mixed up a lot.
No, that's all I have.
So that was 20 minutes.